loyalty to we sweet, sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as one for tomorrow. Now we go make salute.
Yes, family owner, welcome back to yet another very important segment where they come through the Talking Point platform. My name is Mohamed Kadu, and today exclusively we can look at the reasons that we believe say MAADA Bio not for seek re-election. By even seeking re-election, they commit a crime. And enough for even stand for presidency because illegal. Why we think so? This is clear. And they can give us some of the facts, the reasons who feel say Marabia they commit a crime by even standing for become a presidential candidate. So I'm not going to say you should get the opportunity for send you text message here. We go read that shortly. I'm not going to say that. But they can't lie.
Talking Point platform. TTPTV. Oh yeah. Unale we pledge, we love and loyalty to we sweet, sweet mama salute. Now we all forget.
Yeah, so family, let me make something very clear. This message they go directly to President Madabio. Now, I just want to remind the presidency, we know they now a kingdom. Those days are gone where they talk about absolute monarch, where the king get rights for do anything absolutely free without any consequences. Now, I want let President Bio understand say we dey on a republic, Salona Republic. We govern by a constitution. This is not the very constitution where President Bio in 2018 was swear for protect. Now we dey see the president, the same constitution we swear for protect, it dey bastardize the constitution, it dey violates the constitution in a point that is so ridiculous. Now that make I believe strongly say by even standing or contesting for become a presidential candidate in itself like crime. Why would they talk so? Why somebody should say, what in this man really want to try for drivers? Now, I just want to remind people and say, in we own 1991 Constitution, Act number 6, Section 119, give power to the audit service, the Auditor General, will give power for audit any government institution, whether it be MD, all the MDs, whether ministry, department, agency, any government entity or a body where salon people, where the money that come out from the consolidated fund, where they sponsor them, or they fund for carry out the governance activities is subjected under the audit service, the Auditor General for the scrutinize and for the check, for the auditor. Now, the simple logic here is just how like any sensible businessman, you want to know your cost benefit analysis. You want to check your expenditure as it cost. You want to know how you spending money, the best or the simple explanation, the value for money. Now that make them create them body there, then create this institution, then call the audit service for make we know who size salon money they go and how did they use that if they were really use it in the right way. Now, all of the past 2-3 years, we don't see the drama we surround under the audit service when it comes to the office of the presidency. President Bio don't feel like say, inside a republic anymore. Just confirm to himself or within in Kabal said, it is above the constitution. Now that make I'm an auditor in any form of shape. Now we see when when then Auditor General, Mrs. Lara Pierce Taylor, when it decide for doing job judiciously, it decide for doing in job for the benefit of the country, for the benefit of we all, for let at least Salon get a financial discipline. How we use the money in the right way because we don't get money. We see what the president do. The president Satan. He Satan unjustly, and by Satan self, he don't violate the constitution. This is now one reason for us where the president they commit serious crime, where I believe say by the time when he left power, all of them crime go answer her. Now, what did the president do? He go appoint somebody like a puppet, somebody where now SFPP stalwart for make it go act on the position of the auditor general. Why? Because they're not for auditor. Now, for the first time in the past decade, now this time we get a clear fact: the president, the office of the president, the vice president, and the first lady, they know audits them. Now back then, we know the drama will be come out when it comes to when they reveal some shocking thing that what the presidents do in terms of double dipping, money laundering, fake receipts. Now, what you do for like avoid the embarrassment, it pull Lara Pierce Taylor, it count somebody where able control. And by so doing, you know, even violate the constitution. So President Biode commit a serious crime. Where this, after he left power, he therefore answer to this. And why would they come up with talk with all this? Not just because I feel say the way the country they go, particularly we are the outside of the country. We get responsibility for law. We talk for people there because today na salon. If you didn't salon, you talk to definitely freedom is out of you're out of your environment. Then go hold you, they arrest you, then put you in a cell or they intimidate you. We see the likes of Kamarimba and others there, and LAJ, they lock them because they see the truth and talk. Well, that make we don't we take up this challenge. Now, for let it so for let, can't see how the thing funny. The person where the president puts when are just a puppet. For let you know, say this president also any serious president is not serious about fighting corruption. Corruption is not serious about really spending salon money in the most judicious way. It's so I will put it's so funny when in the age of technology or in the age of knowledge where people are so connected with information for let you manipulate there it becomes so difficult. Now listen to the 2021 audit. What did they say? For the first time for a very long time, over these few years, the office of the president, there's no audit them, the vice president or no auditor, and the first lady. These are the offices them we don't use the salon money in recklessly. So I want to play for now some of the reasons they wouldn't give for letting us see how funny politicians they for the fact that then they then just take every salon person like say now full man or then just take people that were not there inside SLPP, except for the other SLPP, you understand? But then just take the entire salon people and say now people with little brains that would then go quickly manipulate that. Anything them put out there, they're not going for able to understand, then go accept Uklana Sinker. Listen to this.
Office of the Vice President was audited. I think that's why I laid the foundation in explaining the procedures. Third Office of the Vice President was audited. Third Office of the Vice President was audited. I think that's why I laid the foundation in explaining the procedures.
Kamarimba, your thoughts on this?
According
to government, there is
Third Office of the Vice President was audited. I think that's why I laid the foundation in explaining the procedures. How does an entity get into the Auditor General's annual report?
All right, something just the I think we get small issues here as we try to play this video. We just want to listen how politicians they don't turn the ordinary man, you know. Life is not done, you know. It's so funny. It's so funny to the point that no amount of lie no will convince people about the unlawful sacking of the Auditor General, where President BFC say they are above the law, they are above the constitution, and that nobody know for auditor. And it failed for realizing this na a republic. We are under constitution. We get institutions there.
Third office of the vice president was audited. I think that's why I laid the foundation in explaining the procedures. How does an entity get into the Auditor General's annual report? So therefore, third office of the vice president was audited. I think
All right.
that's why I laid
Okay.
the foundation in
Humble,
explaining the procedures.
sometimes technology
How does
can
an entity get into the
disappoint
Auditor
you,
General's annual
you
report?
know.
So
They
therefore
try
means
for playful
the
some of
required
these
threshold as explained
clips here, but
in
they made
my
it calm. You know.
preamble.
But
When I was
anyway, let me just
introducing
make
this
them very
talk,
clear. Maybe
is that
sometimes.
State House and Office of the President and many other institutions never met that threshold. Interestingly, it will interest you to know that, and this is what we want. When the 2020 report came out, the Office of the President was the most quote-unquote bombarded office from all sectors of life. When I'm using the word bombarded, because the media was after Office of the President, the non-state actors was after based on the issues that were in there. And remember, there are individuals managing those offices. Individuals are equally there. And what are we yearning for is enough implementation of our recommendations. So State House and Office of the Vice President, we say kudos to them. When we did the 2021 audit, and many other institutions, my brother, they adhere at all the stages that I spoke about. One, in the field, the little recommendations that were made, they adhere to them. When we issue the draft report, the few recommendations that were there outstanding, they adhere to them. And this is what we want. So if institutions, we are all crying for institutions to start implementing audit recommendation. I think that is the cry of everybody. If ban is cried put down today, it is as a result of non-implementation of audit recommendation. So if institutions have started implementing, I think the good thing that we start doing is probably other institutions that are far behind to now go there and start understanding what was your relationship, how was the management team, how was this team, how were the internal control set up, how far did they take these issues for them to be addressed. That third office of the vice president was audited. I think that's why I laid the foundation in explaining the procedures. How does an entity get into the Auditor General's annual report? So it therefore means the third office of the vice president was audited. I think that's why I laid the foundation in explaining the procedures. How does an entity get into the Auditor General's annual report? So it therefore means the required threshold as explained in my
All right, so family, I think we don't
when I
get
was
the
introducing this
background
is that
within
State
this
House and Office of the President
gentleman, this
and many other
unpatriotic man,
institutions never
they
met that
talk
threshold. Interestingly,
about
it
the
will interest you
reason
to know
why
that,
make them feel
and this
say
is
the
what we want.
president
When the
not
2020 report came out, the Office of the President was the most quote-unquote bombarded office from all sectors of life. When I'm using the word bombarded, because the media was after Office of the President, the non-state actors was after based on the issues that were in there. And remember, there are individuals managing those offices. Individuals are equally there. And what are we yearning for is enough implementation of our recommendations. So State House and Office of the Vice President, we say kudos to them. When we did the 2021 audit, and many other institutions, my brother, they adhere at all the stages that I spoke about. One, in the field, the little recommendations that were made, they adhere to them. When we issue the draft report, the few recommendations that were there outstanding, they adhere to them. And this is what we want. So if institutions, we are all crying for institutions to start implementing audit recommendation. I think that is the cry of everybody. If ban is cried put down today, it is as a result of non-implementation of audit recommendation. So if institutions have started implementing, I think the good thing that we start doing is probably other institutions that are far behind to now go there and start understanding what was your relationship, how was the management team, how was this team, how were the internal control set up, how far did they take these issues for them to be addressed. That is what we are all yearning for. So it's not only State House, it's not only Office of the President, but we have many more other institutions that actually took our audit work with every seriousness and assessed they were able to clear the issues that we raised. That was why State House and Office of the President was not in the 2021 report. But to say we never audited them, no. Even though I explained how institutions can be audited, but they were audited. The reason being simple, probably you have an answer to that. Public interest. Last year, State House, everybody. So we knew that last year, because of people's interest, yes, we audited them. In 2020, it was people's interest. So because everybody is having concern about office of the president, they will be audited because it's a public office. It is subjected to similar scrutiny, the same scrutiny at all levels.
Yeah, so this is exactly what the president bill wants. He want put somebody like a puppet, somebody will go control, somebody will go dictator for tell and say any just for like uh, allow and forget in free will for let get a blank check for they able to do anything by himself without even checking. And this go against the very constitution where the president be take oath for in 2018, where they go protect and defend the constitution. We see the president right and they disgrace the constitution, they rendered we institutions then dysfunctional. The institution don't become dysfunctional. They look at the institutions. I mean, they break the institution. They liked this in really, 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 really heart-rending. And that make I believe say President Bill by even seeking re-election now illegal for they even do so because the constitution where take vote for you don't violate the constitution, you don't betray the constitution, you don't go against the constitution when a crime on itself. So even for seeking an election, then another problem. These are the reasons we make we country still do the end because we leaders and just take we like full, then just take we say as soon as they don't go inside state house, they don't forget about the strategic goal, the main goal for govern in the interest of each and every Sierra Leoneans. The main focus on are for protect them. What's wrong if you do the right thing? Why the auditor general not for audit you? If you sure say yes indeed, all those resources where you be collect from the consolidated fund, use them judiciously, where they just ask you for them to produce authentic receipts. If you know say yes it's genuine, what are the points where for Saka, and bring down somebody where for the first time we see that way the president and the president go. These are the problems that I make leaders then difficult for them to succeed because then they look at people and them only for president. Praise singers and people are yes men. They want people who surround them. People who they go in favor of what them think and believe. And they run a country like you're a social club, like your family. The fate of more than 7 million people and then like you earn. You get to be more responsible. So we don't know clearly now from all the fake press release where the president puts the reason why they can sack the auditor general because of professional misconduct as a result of I'm the auditor. See the person then can put now where they praise the president. The president do fine, But these are some of these guys, these are patriotic people, and some of these guys I know say posterity go judge them because he's a self most you and you say it lie. They lie. Say you do not for the interest of the country, but for the interest of the person we put on power. And I SLPP man, it's clear. It wrong. These are the things that we make. I mean, it can always painful for we for the we dey see people wey don dey out, we don't live abroad 10, 20 years, then go back salon, then go mess the system because they know how them country they work. The country, them country also will live now. They strengthen the institutions. They don't make one person powerful. They make the institution powerful. That make them succeed. So everybody they try. I give you two reasons, two examples. Look, the prime minister now, Rishi Sunak, the prime minister of UK, United Kingdom. He do a video where he go live where he forgets, according to her, forget for putting seatbelt. Because because of seatbelt, then fine and police they investigate. Imagine the prime minister, head of government, then go then fine her. Then fine her. We see Finland, then Prime Minister Jacinda, he just resigned in 2 days here. Because if he say, it make it clear, he said he not able to offer more than what he don't do for people. Imagine just 5 years. But if you look the institutions, the road infrastructure, the development, the projects with a woman in short period of 5 years, which you do not Finland, for let it come and tell the people, and shortly then there's I say, we will continue because if it's get enough in time, get enough more energy, more resources, more policies and for implement. Well, honorably, yeah, we get a president who don't fail with 4 and 5, almost 5 years, he still a come, he actually more yeah, chance again. I mean, people are then tired. President Bill, the court of Salon, or probably even the International Criminal Court, they wait you once you step out from that office. And will believe say because you don't violate the constitution, time. And I talk about the other issues there. They talk about specifically when it relates to this auditor general issue, which you don't cause the people the suffering, the destructions of we institutions and make them become less important, you go surely pay that price. You go surely pay that price. So family, I go tap the program here. Will they come once in a while whenever we get the opportunity, we can help for talk to now. And I want to use this opportunity finally for telling plenty thank you. We don't get more than 7,000 subscribers there on YouTube. This remarkable achievement. Una don't really help we. Una don't really show yes indeed. Una they appreciate the efforts or the put in here. So if you not subscribe it, not forget subscribe na free. Okay. Until then, una bye for now.
Talking point platform for news every day now we can't and law for education.